we continue the book Bronstein Move by Move with a game played by the author Giddins as white against Bronstein. Giddins has the perception that Bronstein is old and bitter, which is the normal attitude of every old person in US. That's why antidepressants are given a go-go, because obviously the old people are not useful anymore, and that lack of usefulness gives depression, bitterness, right? And then, of course, Giddins is surprised that this is a rapid game, and yet Bronstein writes it down all. Why Bronstein writes it down all? Probably for selling the score sheet one day, because after all, he was a world champion contender. But one thing that I want to tell you guys is that it's important to write down your games, because it's the only way to improve. And so Bronstein did the right thing and Giddins didn't, because Giddins should have written down that game, especially thinking that you are playing against Bronstein. It's like if you're playing against the Karpov, Kasparov, or Fischer, would you write down the game? Of course, right? No matter what. Okay, so Giddins is white, Bronstein is black, and Giddins starts with d4. Knight f6. The game doesn't have any kind of comment apart all this story that Giddins was surprised that Bronstein wrote down all the games and probably kept them up to his death. But it makes sense, because if he wanted to publish, Bronstein has published many books, not only this 200 open games or the modern chess self-tutor. He wrote a lot of books, so he has a lot of collections of his games. And so you need obviously to find the best games for each book, right? And some books are even printed in Spanish, for example, like a collection of my best games that I don't have. So, okay, let's watch this game. c4, bishop g7, g3, castle. As you can see, Bronstein is just playing something normal. He doesn't let his opponent know if he wants to enter a King's Indian or a Grunfeld, right? But now, after bishop g2, yes, he will commit with d5. C takes d5, knight takes d5. I honestly like to watch Bronstein games because he was an artist at the board, so he was always trying to find a combination. And so I really like his game for that reason. Castle, knight b6 and knight c3, then followed by knight c6 and e3. Giddins close this diagonal, so I don't know what he will do later in order to develop this. That's interesting, however. Bishop d7, h3, mo. I don't know, this move doesn't make much sense to me. Why it doesn't make much sense? Because he's trying to entice black to play this? No, maybe, who knows. But you see, Bronstein is a real grandmaster from other times. This kind of configuration makes me think that he's playing in hyper-modern style, which means he let his opponent build his center and now he's gonna attack it little by little. And in fact, yeah, he plays e5. d5, knight e7, e4. And again, you know, I am not sure what's gonna happen in this game because I never saw it, but it will be interesting to see what Bronstein does, because now the center is kind of close, solid. So let's see if he attacks with f5 or with c6. I'm curious. So knight e c8. Very interesting. So Forty wants to take control of the square in front of the d pawn. Bishop d5, g5, queen e8, rook c1, and knight d6. Rook e1, protecting this, h6. This makes more sense, because now he's asking this bishop, where are you going? Because if you go here, this is not really super defended like it is now, right? Yeah, bishop e3, yeah. Knight bc4. As you can see, Bronstein is not playing crazy, he's just playing simple moves and little by little entering the opponent position. Please note that at this moment, white doesn't have any piece in enemy territory, while black has one. So let's see what happens. Queen e2, obviously knight takes e3, so he wants to take away the bishop pair to white. Queen takes e3, and the queen e7. Queen c5, probably to prevent a possible knight c4. Rook f c8. So from this moment I think black is not interested in attacking the king side, and the situation will develop on the queen side. Rook e d1, a6, so preventing probably knight b5, knight d2, f5. Wow. Knight c4, queen f6. What's going on here? Knight takes d6, why? I mean, he's opening the c5 for black. Queen takes d6. Queen takes d6. So he thinks the other opponent is stronger than me. I try to exchange all the pieces. So we go into the endgame. But I mean, would you go into the endgame against a grandmaster that has played chess all his life? I don't know. It doesn't make much sense. And let me tell you why. Bronstein was very interested in chess computers because he had some curiosities about how some endgames would end. And that tell you a lot about the fact that he had some doubts about some of his games, and with his own analysis he wasn't able to ascertain the truth. And so I thought maybe the computer would tell me, because before Bronstein died, it was the beginning of a endgame table basis that calculated all the possible position for, I think, 4 or 5 pieces, included the kings. So not much. h4, h5. Okay. So is blocking the pawns on dark square because he has the dark square bishop and he wants to attack them probably. Bishop h3, bishop h6, now he's controlling the square c1, rook c2, bishop a4, now we can see the power of a bishop pair, b3, bishop d7, f3. This is a situation that maybe could be called zugzwang because black is making white move all his pieces, and when it doesn't have anything else to move, he will make a bad move and white will take advantage of it. Sorry, and black will take advantage of it. Rook c7, a4, bishop e3, check, and here the game ended. So I guess at this point, I don't know, probably, let's say, play this, and he has to keep this, but look this, boom. And now there is a problem, right? How do you defend that? So that is going down, right? Let's say that it takes, I don't know. And I think at a certain point it's over and he will lose that. Okay, so now we saw why black won. He practically won in the endgame. No particular fireworks. And I was curious to see this game because, like I told you guys, I believe in writing every game, also silly one, and for sure for Bronstein this game wasn't a top level, but probably when he played it, it was already over his career, so you know, he probably just continued to play for getting some money, for appearances, but that's it. Okay, thank you very much for watching. This was Giddins versus Bronstein from the Bronstein Move book. Thank you.